back a little bit a lot. I got a little something that's, I've been wanting this for a little bit, and then I went to my parents' house and they had like a simpler version of it, and so I went out and bought just a little bit. I got my own weather station. Today we're not building anything, but we're gonna unbox this cool little gadget I got. Well, here she is, the Sane Logic WS0835 Plus. So this one connects to Wi-Fi and Weather Underground, and we'll have to see if we can get all that set up. But let's go ahead and open this thing and see kind of what it looks like, how it's packaged, and if it looks like it's super cheap or not. I think mostly you kind of get what you pay for with these things, and so there is definitely some cheaper options. But I didn't want to go too cheap. User's manual. Wi-Fi setup guide. I mean, it came with bolts or something. Here's the screen. Gotcha. Screen, I was worried about this because I didn't want like a super tiny one, but that's not too bad. It's, I think it said it was 4 inches by 5 inches. It may not be quite 4 by 5. It doesn't quite look like that, so we are 3 5/8 by 5 1/4. So not super small, not super big, and actually I think this size is even perfect. So there's the machine itself, rain gauge, wind direction. It's got a mount. You got to put some 3 AA batteries in it. Looks like these are the different mount options, and this for this as well. Looks like the last thing in here. I think this is if you wanted to plug in your, so if you wanted to plug in your screen, you can. I'm going to be using the battery feature in it. This also takes 3 AA batteries, and so let's see what we do to set this up. So I'm just doing the mounting hardware for the actual unit itself, and it comes with a pole, whatever you want to call it, and then the actual mounting bracket here. You can put it in a couple ways. So if you're standing it straight up versus hanging it kind of on the side of something, you do push these together. They're very tight fit, but there's a hole in here and there's a hole in there. You just line them up, and then you throw one of these screws or bolts in there, and kind of holds it together, I think. Yeah. So that one right there just fits through, and then same thing for here. You'll just basically push it through until the you can see there's a hole. There's a hole in here, and there's also a hole in here. And then to mount it, it says, since we're here in the northern hemisphere, we will take and mount the N. There's an N on here, an S, a W, and an E for north, south, east, and west. It's on the little indicator right here, so you can't see it, but there's letters right here. One says N, W, S, and E. So and then it's got a level on the top here, so when you mount it, you want it as level as possible, obviously. And then it's a for the rain gauge, you don't have to empty it or anything. It's self-emptying, but it kind of looks like that on the inside. It's just got a gauge right there. You can kind of tell how much rain you got. It just pops on, and then of course how fast the wind's going, and then what direction the wind's going, and then it's also got humidity, barometer pressure, and so yeah. Let's put some batteries in this thing, get this thing hooked up here, make sure that this is going to work the direction I want it to out there, and then yeah. Alright, so here's the unit itself. Got all the mounting hardware on it, and so here on the back is the S, or the south indicator, and so that is south for me. So I'm going to align it where it's facing, S is facing south, and looks like the mounting bracket's going to go like so. Yeah, it'll be alright. mounted the actual unit. The monitor itself, I just put 3 AAA batteries into it and clicked it on, and you can see all the, as you can see, they all kind of light up here. It says 4.5 miles an hour right now. I'm going to have to reset some of it because it does say there's already some water in there. 81.1 degrees. Temperature outside, 75% relative humidity. Whew, that's and 82, a little over 82 degrees here in the garage, which I believe gets moon phase Wednesday. It's not Wednesday. The date's wrong on it, so I got some fixing to do here. I wonder if I could leave this. How do I? Oh, I'm already pushing buttons, so I got to set this thing up. Alright, so I think I got this thing pretty much set up here, and have it plugged into the wall at this particular time, just because I don't want to drain the batteries just yet. Now, it says, I mean, you can set this thing up on the wall, which is what I plan on doing. But the illumination of all the gauges and things like that goes off within a couple of seconds. And I don't really like that a lot. You can set it where it stays on all the time, but it'll run down the batteries real quick. So I have it plugged in, so I'll probably end up just kind of mounting it next to the plug here so that the gauges, the illumination is on all the time. And so it seems to be working pretty good. Let's see here. So as you can kind of see on it, it did take me a second to get the Wi-Fi going. So if you push the min-max button, so if you push that button for 3 seconds, it basically like shows the signal of whatever it is. So I went into the Wi-Fi settings and I found the weather deal. And then you type in, you go to your web browser, you type in the IP address that's on there, and then you upload your information. I have not connected this to the Weather Underground. It displays the time and the date and all that kind of stuff. It syncs it up to it. So that's the important thing. I do have to change the Central Standard Time because it's not what it normally is. So it seems like everything's working pretty good. Get an average of about, it seems to be updating quite often, average about 3.4. I'm not sure exactly how often it updates, but you see it has already changed from 5.1 to 3.4. So it seems to be just kind of updating. You see the time has already changed a couple of times, so it like updates. So we'll see how this works. This is the rain, the wind, the direction of the wind, the time of the date, all that kind of good stuff. And so we're going to look at the wind here. I have an app on my iPad that shows kind of the wind and everything. And so I'm going to pick it here. And it looks like we're blowing about 5 to 8 knots. So that's really like 6 to 7 miles per hour with a max of 8 knots, which is about it's about 10 miles per hour-ish, blowing southeast. And so in my house, it looks like an average of 7.4, which is just about right there. And then it's blowing east. It was southeast just a second ago. And gusts about 9.6, which matches this just perfectly. We are standing approximately 70-ish feet away from it. The console receiver, whatever, is sitting in the kitchen, and that's obviously mounted out there. There was 0 problems in connecting it. I didn't even have to connect it. I did have a little issue with the Wi-Fi, which actually turned out to be just more of a user error, and it's set up pretty quick. You just basically click on the Wi-Fi, and then once you connect it to it, you go to an IP address, and then it automatically kind of connects. And the next step is to do the Weather Underground, set it up there so I can kind of look on the app and find my house, and then we're good to go. But overall, pretty cool system. Seems to work with rain, seems to work with wind. I'm working on the time. The time change seems to be kind of awkwardly weird. It keeps switching back to that other time zone, which doesn't matter because we're in Texas. Everything that matters is we're here in Texas. So overall, pretty cool system. Got a weather station in my house now. You know, I mean, just a luxury to have. Anyways, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.